Hello, and thank you for listening to Gettin' Hard in Nate's Backyard. On this episode of the podcast, Nancy, Harley, and I talk to Gord Kirchin of the Exalted Piledriver. The Exalted Piledriver is a thrash band formed in 1984 in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. They have such banger albums as Stay Ugly and Metal Inquisition. Go check those out. The Exalted Piledriver will be playing Thursday, September 15th at Distortion Live Music Venue in Calgary, Alberta as part of Calgary Metalfest V. Go to calgarymetalfest.com and grab your tickets for that. And as always, thank you for listening. Hello, and thank you for listening to Gettin' Hard in Nate's Backyard. On this episode of the podcast, I have Nancy.
How's it going?
I have Harley.
Hey, what's up?
And I have Gord from Piledriver.
Hails.
This podcast is brought to you by Right Hook Mics. Go to righthookmics.com, pick up one of their PE 55 style mics. They make you look like a satanic Elvis. They're very awesome. And they're affordable and in 5 different styles. So go to righthookmics.com.
Satanic Elvis. That sounds like I need me one of those.
Yeah, fuck, they're cheap. They're like $120 or something.
Right on.
This podcast is brought to you by Nancy and I, Big Nate Productions. Go there and look in the horror at the least amount of days left till Metalfest. We have a countdown clock. We should look it up right now to see where it's at right now.
How much time do I have?
Yeah.
Before I gotta strap in.
I want to say 19 days.
20 hours, 11 minutes.
19 days, 20 hours, 11 minutes at the time of this recording.
Holy.
So get your fucking tickets to Calgary Metalfest, which Piledriver's playing on Thursday. First time you guys ever been here, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, wild. Wild. And of course Annihilator and all Exciter, Razor, and Sacrifice all on the Saturday, and Toxic Holocaust on the Friday. And then a bunch of rad locals, and Disciples of Power is also on Friday.
Yeah, Disciples of Power, yeah.
Yeah, which is going to fucking rule.
They were old label mates back in the Fringe product days.
Oh,
really?
Nice.
Yeah, when I had Dogs with Jobs, we were on the same label there for a while.
Oh, that's funny. That's one of the questions.
Jobs on my phone.
Okay, so I'll just say with that, I'll thank you everybody for listening to the commercials. I'd like to officially welcome everybody to the podcast. Thanks for being here. Actually, that was the first viewer. The first fan question we got was ask about dogs with jobs.
Right.
So I'm asking what.
Dan from
Okay, well.
Dan N from yeah.
Yeah,
Dogs with Jobs is
Dan.
very Piledriver related.
Yeah, it was.
In that I was working on writing the third Piledriver album. It was going to be called Shock. And we were in the studio. We were at the mixing stage. And the record weasel had come by to drop the bomb on me that I was not going to get an advance for the record. And seeing as I'd been ripped off for the first 2 albums, I said, well, then you're not getting this record.
Holy shit.
Go ahead.
So I just said, holy shit.
Yeah. So I said to him, this band is no longer called Piledriver. It's called Dogs with Jobs. You have no business in this studio. Get the fuck out of here. And that's how Dogs with Jobs started. So then I set about to depilify the lyrics and make them slightly more commercial, but with still some edge. And went to Fringe Product and put it out as Shock, but depilified.
Huh.
Wow.
So is that the cover with the all girls on it?
No,
what was
I
that?
would love that. Actually, there's a funny story behind the cover of Shock, too. We had a Rottweiler set up. On the cover, there's a dog sitting at a computer, and he's being electroshocked by the computer. And it was supposed to be a snarling, wild-looking Rottweiler, but the dog died
man.
the shoot. So we're scrambling around trying to find a dog, and the best we could get as far as a big dog was this kind of a collie, black and white collie thing, big chubby thing. So that's how we got stuck with a unique-looking animal.
That's
on the cover of
hilarious,
Metal
man.
album.
Wow!
That's hilarious.
Oh yeah, the Pile Trail and Dogs of Jobs is a litany of things gone wrong.
So, can you give the super commoner listener like a quick synopsis? Like, sorry to do this to you, but like, when did you start, and what first? Please.
I'll tell the tale.
Oh, man.
Piledriver came about because Leslie Howe, who is the producer and multi-instrumentalist who wrote and did the Metal Inquisition album, he was a commercial artist, and he was negotiating a commercial pop record deal.
Huh.
And in those negotiations, the Record Weasel was telling them he had a metal division wherein any album that had a half-decent, crazy-looking cover, no matter what crap was on the vinyl, it sold 20,000 copies. It would be funny to put out an album without a band and just make some quick coin.
Right.
So they set about to do this, and I had played with Les some years previous in a cover band, and he remembered that I was this madman with a throat, and that I would be perfect for it. So I was brought in to sing on it, and that was Metal Inquisition. That was 1984, and we summarily got ripped off. So Les broke ties with the label. So when it came time, the album was just supposed to go out and just do a quick little, 10, 20,000 copies and then go away. Unfortunately for the Record Weasel, it became an underground hit, and almost 500,000 copies went out worldwide. So
awesome.
He wanted to follow it up. So since Les was no longer involved, he needed a writing team. So that Eddie Persino, the guitar player, and Dave Defies, the singer of Virgin Steel, were on the label. They were done, what's it called? Something Nomad. And they were trying to get out of their contract because the Record Weasel was ripping them off too. So they worked out a deal with the Record Weasel that they would do a couple of these quickie albums for him, and thus satisfy the terms of their contract by putting out 2 more albums, and then they gave out. So that's how Stay Ugly came about, and I was brought down to Dave Defy's studio to sing on that one.
Nice.
So that's how Metal Inquisition and Stay Ugly came about.
Huh. The Record Weasel has a lot to do with the story, eh?
Oh yes, he does. Very much so.
I'd like to see this in some sort of Broadway form.
Actually, this would make a drama-filled extravaganza.
Awesome. So, is there a reason why you guys haven't come out this way? Like, I don't know.
Well, like before with the Torment and Firefest, it almost happened, but it never did. There was a lot of close calls over the years, but nothing ever actually came to fruition. And so now I'm happier than a pig in shit now that it's actually happening.
Yeah, no, there's a lot, and you and a lot of people out here too. It's really cool.
Yep.
Oh man, I think that Distortion place is going to be packed to the tits.
Yeah,
that is going to be one mayhemic night. It's going to be intense.
Yes.
Fucking A.
Yes.
So I was told that somebody was like, "Did Gord tell you that he needs to have a bucket?"
Yeah, this is a contract writer in our stage plot.
Sorry, you mentioned...
Okay, hold on. Sorry, I got to take a quick break. Sorry, just a sec.
Big Nate Productions presents Calgary Metalfest V. From Thursday, September 15 to Saturday, September 17th. That's 3 days of metal. Thursday headliners, The Exalted Piledriver. Friday headliners, Toxic Holocaust. And Saturday's a night not to miss, a historic night of Canadian metal featuring Annihilator, Exciter, Sacrifice, and Razor. Go to CalgaryMetalFest.com for more details. Calgary Metalfest V.
United we rock.
All right, we're back. Technical difficulties. They keep firing rockets at us. Cool. So, where were we there?
We were talking about how long it's been that both myself, the band, and all of you fans out there have been pining to get together, and now it's finally happening.
Sure, yeah. So it just never came together before, eh? It's just...
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Do you guys do any extensive touring even now, or...?
No, not really. We're all old men now with families and the whole 9 yards and jobs and everything, and so it comes down to squeezing it into our vacation time or whenever we can all get the time off,
sure,
kind of thing. So, it's not like we're a huge in-demand band,
Yeah.
We're kind of a nostalgic kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, it kind of works out even,
Yeah.
We get invited to, mostly it's festivals, and mostly it's in Europe. There have been 3 tours planned for Brazil, but every time they fell through, like while we're standing at the airport, because of crooked promoters down there.
I've heard notorious stories about promoters down in Brazil about ripping bands off, and they get to the border and, there's nothing happening. Sorry, we took off with all your deposit money and all that, blah, blah, blah. And
Exactly.
Yeah.
There was one pretty large tour. It was a 27-city tour. All through Brazil, Chile, Colombia, and we were at the airport, trying to get our boarding passes in the machine. Like, what the hell? The numbers aren't coming up. When we go and talk to the account, those tickets have been canceled. What? We're supposed to be on that flight that's leaving in 10 minutes,
Wow.
And a lot of people lost a lot of money on that because of this weasel down there. All the venues that had printed up, and pre-sold tickets and had T-shirts and merch done up. A lot of people lost a lot of money.
Terrible.
And then there's the fans that are let down, right?
Right. They probably paid too. They probably lost too.
Yeah, exactly.
Lost a lot of money.
This is it.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
I remember what I was asking you before. I heard that I need to ask you about a bucket.
Oh, yeah.
Right, the bucket.
Yeah, what's that for?
I have a heart condition called bradycardia, which is my heart doesn't beat fast enough. So when I get exerted, it pumps harder, not faster. And so I hit like the runner's wall.
Okay.
Like marathon runners at a certain point in their 26 miles, they hit what's called the runner's wall, and sometimes there's shitting, there's pissing, there's puking. And that's what happens to me. So I've actually collapsed a few times on stage from it, but now I'm pacing myself better. But occasionally, if I've eaten too close to showtime, you get to see my lunch. And what has
just adds
become
to the
of
show.
that is that people now expect it. Right? So I'm quite reticent to do that because it really burns my vocal cords, right?
Right.
But, so that's why sometimes we have it in the rider to have a bucket present at my mic position. because stagehands and promoters aren't fond of cleaning up after me.
No. I actually am the sound guy at this place, too. I won't be that night, but... yeah, rather get it in the bucket. I know how that is.
I'm good at hitting it, though.
Yeah.
But, man, there's been a couple of nights, like when we did Headbangers Open Air, it happened. And, man, they're all clamoring down in front trying to get some on them, It was kind of sick yet entertaining at the same time.
So here's another question that we've kind of gotten is what's the craziest show you ever did play?
Athens. That was for what's it called? Up the Hammers Festival.
Oh, nice.
That was the most intensely insane, rabid, frenzied crowd I've ever seen in my life. Oh, it was.
Is there footage of that?
110 degrees in that club, and it was just nuts.
What year?
Hell of a lot of fun. This was 2007.
Oh, cool.
Recent.
Yeah.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, that was definitely an insane fucking night. People hanging from the ceiling and, stage divers constantly the whole night, like 2 and 3 at a time. It was a frenzy. It was so awesome.
No, nice.
Are they more lax with people getting on stage out there in Europe?
Yeah.
See,
Definitely.
That's sad.
Yeah, it's insurance dicks, man.
It really
It's
is.
fucking
It's sad to
insurance
see, especially after, what's happened, that I would love to get on stage. I would love to get on stage with you. I'd love to get on stage with a lot of bands and just, get on stage and jump off stage.
What often happens is people will come up, and I allow it, is to come up and sing along with me in Metal Inquisition. But there is a danger level, because when you get near to me, those spikes will take out an eye. They will poke a hole in your neck.
Pick me.
You know what I mean? They're blunted, but in jumping around on stage, things happen. There was one guy in Montreal who got it right in the eye,
Oof.
and I was afraid he was going to sue my ass. But being a super fan, he let it go. But yeah, he took it really bad, and so I'm kind of wary about it, but it's so enjoyable, and
Yeah.
And that's
it
Piledriver.
just helps the atmosphere,
For sure.
the big gang sing along,
I work with the guy that's probably about your age, and he was saying that back here, out in the little towns, I think he said it was Lethbridge, they had spikes like that, and the cops pulled them over and took their spikes because they're considered weapons at the time and all this stuff.
To me too.
We don't play very often in the States because of the huge hassles at the border. They have like X-ray machines or metal detectors or something in the lanes, and leading up to the booth, right?
Yeah.
And every time it's instantly pull it over. What's in the trunk? What do you got in there? And then when I open it up, they're all, what the hell? What is this? It's a stage costume.
Yeah, right.
Because, I can imagine what it looks like on an X-ray machine as it's going by. It might look like a huge luggage bomb or something with 16-inch spikes to impale people.
Hey,
Right.
Speaking about your spikes, you told me once about a story about a one Alice Cooper and how, you feel wronged and how he ripped you off for your style on a certain album.
Oh, there was one. It was the Trash Tour.
Yep.
He had a okay. Just before the Trash Tour, I met him and Kane Roberts at Much Music.
Oh, Kane Roberts is huge. He's great.
Yeah, right. And so at that time, I was a super fan since 1972, and so I gave him an 8x10 of Pile. And they're both, wow, that's heavy. Wow, that's insane, And it wasn't even 5 months later when I see him with this leather jacket with all these spikes sticking out of it. And so I wouldn't say he ripped me off. Let's just say that he paid homage.
Nice. Well,
That's a good way to put it.
that's wild
Awesome.
to be influencing people.
So for me, it was kind of a mixed bag of emotion there, because one, wow, he stole my spikes, but two, wow, it was Alice.
Yeah, it was Alice Cooper.
So it didn't hurt too bad.
Okay.
Cool. So, do you have any more of these fucking record head weasel guy stories? I just want, you're wording it that way.
I love that.
I want to hear another one.
They sound like
Dude,
stinky
I could
pieces
tell you
of shit.
so many stories about that one dude. Like when we went down to do the vocals for Stay Ugly, he dropped me off at one of these porn motels and just starts driving away. And I'm like, whoa, where are you going? I ain't got any money. And he says, well, 3 weeks ago I gave you $250. And I'm going, yeah, and that went straight into my rent.
Yeah.
What the hell? And so he was all pissy, he gets out of the car and he goes and he pays the $50 for the room, and he's all pissy about having to lay out $50, and I'm like, well, that's fine, I'll come and sleep in your bed wherever you're staying with your pretty wife there. No skin no skin off my ass. So he was all pissy about that.
Yeah. Well, I got the $50 out right away, right?
Yeah. Another great one is Convict. You know of that album?
Yeah. Well, that was brought up. That was brought up by the fans here.
Right.
Derek was like he was in Convict as well.
Yeah. So that was another one of these under the radar quickie albums, right?
Okay.
And so for that one, I was flown to New York, but I was sick as a dog with strep throat. I didn't want to go, but he said, if the studio's booked, you gotta go. So I got on the plane, went down there, could barely talk, without, crying, basically. It was like razor blades in my throat. Somehow I got through the sessions. But on one song, I think it was When Your Dreams Are Over, there's a big high scream at the end, and blood is coming out in my mouth, right? And I'm like, no, we got to stop, man. Like, this can't go on, Well, come on, we got one more song, So I muscled it through, but just what a cocksucker, just to force me to fucking sing till I'm bleeding.
Yeah.
And then right after, he's all pissed off.
Oh.
Because I'm making him look bad in front of the producer and engineer, right? And I'm like, what? You're embarrassed? Give me a fucking break, So he was all pissy, so then he drove me straight to the airport instead of back to the hotel. He just wanted to get rid of me.
Wow.
That's what a wonderful person that record weasel
fucking
is.
kick in the nuts.
Yeah.
Holy.
Every band that ever dealt with him got burnt by the guy. And his modus operandi was to hit a town, scoop up a bunch of bands, get distribution deals, and take advances on the distribution, then do some creative accounting to create a bankruptcy for that label.
Oh.
Right? And then he would start up another label. So I started on Maze Music, then it was Craze, then it was Cobra with a C, then it was Cobra with a K.
Whoa.
And then there's a whole other list of labels that he had after that. After I'd had enough and kicked him out of the studio, right, and out of my life. And he's a serial rip-off artist. And the last I heard of that weasel, he was running a duplication facility in Toronto. Oof. And even the name of the company he stole, he called it Magnetic Air, which is a live Max Webster album, Live Magnetic Air. The guy hasn't got an original bone in his body. And I'm pretty damn sure that all of the Piledriver bootlegs that I've seen out there, I'm pretty fucking sure it's him that did them through that duplication facility.
Oh, wow.
That's
insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
He is the epitome of record weasels. He's the textbook example of, these sharks that infest this business.
That takes some kind of nuts, to be that pathological to be doing shit like that.
Well, what I can't believe is, nobody shot him in the face yet.
Right. Yeah, you would think.
There goes my upcoming question.
Yeah, it's like, why is Dick Cheney still alive? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
He's had 9 heart attacks. He makes it every time.
Right. And he even shot somebody in the face.
That's right. Okay, I got another fan question here. Ask him what he thinks of the cover of Sex with Satan that Marduk did.
I think it was awesome.
Yeah, cool.
What I like about bands that cover and make it their own style rather than trying to recreate the original, I like that.
Yeah.
Because it's an amalgam of the two in a way, And I think they also did what was it, Human Sacrifice? I know they did another one as well.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a band out of Brazil. The name escapes me right now, but they did the Fire God. Dave Defies even reused the Fire God on House of Atreus 2, I think. Yeah, he revived that song. There's been about 3 or 4 bands that have released covers of Pile songs.
Cool. How many albums do you guys...
I like when they sound like themselves doing our tune,
How many albums do you have in total? Pardon my ignorance.
Well, let's see here. I got Metal Inquisition, Stay Ugly, Convict, Dogs of Job Shock, Dogs of Job's Payday. Then there's Metal Manifesto. There's the live album, Night of the Unpolished Turd.
Oh, what? That one has escaped my collection yet.
And now we're working towards the next one, which is going to be called Humans Suck.
How true.
A new studio album?
Yes, and now it's going to be a digital age album. In that, I'm not going to do a label. Right? I'm tired of being burnt. You know, fictitious money does not interest me anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we'll probably print up about 1,000 actual physical copies for people that have to have something in their collection. But my plan is, because, you know, you're like Metal Manifesto, it went out, and literally the day after it was available, there were like 30 torrents of it. Right? You know? So the bloom is off the rose. There's no making your money back on your recording anymore, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to spend big bucks on big productions anymore. We're going to do basic, you know, decent enough recordings in my studio and in my guitar player's studio.
Cool.
And we're going to release them on fucking YouTube.
Oh,
you know,
nice.
Without any expectation of any fucking return on it, because we never get any anyways.
Yeah.
Right? So why chase after fiction when we can just throw it out there? People love it. It's not going to sound like poo, you know.
Yeah.
I've got it here, and like I say, we'll print up 1,000, you know, whatever it takes to appease the people that have to have a physical copy, and yeah, that's it. I'm not playing the game anymore.
That's cool. Well, I mean,
I'm the poster boy for being ripped off.
Yeah, that's super shitty.
And I'm sick of throwing lawyer money away after nothing, because they always win.
Of course,
you know what I mean.
Fuck.
So fuck it.
The attitude in your songs.
I'm just going to throw it out there because it's going to be free anyways.
Yeah.
So we've done that already on the Exalted Piledriver Facebook page. We released a demo of a song called Allegiance to None.
Nice.
So if you go to the Exalted Piledriver page, scroll down a little bit there, you'll find a video, you know, just with a bunch of pictures of us playing. But the audio is basically the release of Allegiance to None. And so I'm going to continue like that. I'm not going to... now, people don't buy it or listen to entire albums anymore in the digital age. So I'm just going to, as each song is done, throw it up. You know what I mean?
Isn't it weird? Isn't it weird that it's like that now? Like, just in the sense that, like, if you think about, like, in the 50s with the Elvis and stuff, like, there was singles then.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was all
singles. This is what we're back to.
We're back to that. Isn't that fucking weird?
Yeah.
That
but then again, cassettes are back. Vinyl is
back. Cassettes are back. I have a pile of
we're coming
cassettes
full circle. Next, we're gonna have the coils, the wax coils.
Wax coil. Yeah, we're going back to
you know, and then right on back to the original wire.
Exactly.
The
clay pots with the feathers. Yeah,
and then
straw.
And then after that, we'll be etching them in rocks.
So, okay, this question might bomb super hard, and I might just edit it right out. But what is the connection? Is there a wrestling connection with you and something?
Well, I would say not really, but there were some talks between me and a video game company that had a large wrestling game franchise.
Wild.
And yeah, this was quite a few years ago, and they were going to make Piledriver a character in the game as one of the final bosses.
Awesome.
And we had worked out that my killer move was this nuclear belly thing, where I would run at them and then bounce them off my belly up into the rafters.
That's awesome.
That was my finishing move. I can't remember what we called it, but that was what it was going to be. And then in the end, it fell through. But that's too bad.
So you've never done any backyard wrestling or any?
I've never. When I was a kid, I was really into the wrestling stuff, but then I had gone to see it, and wait a minute, they're not kicking the shit out of each other. It's all play acting. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So I lost interest fairly early, but I can see the entertainment value in it and the industry that it is now. Because back in that day, it was Edward Carpentier and Johnny War Eagle, and then the second match you'd have some big fat dude and a toothless bear, and then a couple of midgets wrestling, and then the girls, right? We actually got in the ring with some in Newfoundland. We were touring Newfoundland, and in Stephenville, we were playing the club, and there's this huge troop of people just party and hardy down in the back, right? So we ended up meeting them, and it turns out that they were in the arena the next night doing their wrestling thing, so they gave us some tickets.
Nice.
So we all went out there. It was just hilarious, like I say, with the bear and the midgets and the whole 9 yards.
Well, and oddly enough,
after the event, they allowed me and my sound man to jump in the ring, and we ripped off our shirts and we took some shots, you know. So
really?
Maybe that's why people are thinking there was some connection, because there are some images out there of me and Ivan the Subhuman, who's game on Metal Inquisition, out there fake wrestling.
I have gone out with some wrestlers and drank, and oh my God, I am not that bad.
Well, you know what? A couple of the guys in the band hooked up with some of those female wrestlers. They all got the dose.
Whoa!
And the other exciting dimension of that night was the referee was on acid.
Holy, that is one hell of a
That's
trip.
why it takes him so long to get to 3.
Or to get to 1 even and find out that there's a pin.
That's awesome. So you recently moved to Quebec, right? From Ontario?
Well, okay. Well, I was in Toronto for 28 years. I was a broadcast systems installer by day, and I was wiring up and installing the gear for TV stations, recording studios, production houses, and stuff like that. And then the wife's father contracted Alzheimer's. He was in Montreal, so we had moved to Montreal to take care of him. And that's how I ended up in Quebec. And across 5 years, he deteriorated and he died. And the whole time I was in Quebec, I couldn't land any work at all. So I was 5 years without work there, mostly because of my Englishness.
Yep.
Even though I'm fully bilingual, my last name is not La Framboise or Tremblay or something very Quebecois. So if I even landed an interview, it was, you got a funny accent. You're not from Quebec. You know? No, I was born in Moncton, and I'm fully bilingual, but you're not from Quebec.
Right.
No, I'm not from Quebec. And for 5 years, I did not have a job. I ended up doing a full bankruptcy. I pissed away all of my RSPs just keeping alive.
Shit.
So now I have to work till I die.
Holy shit.
So through all that financial mayhem, my marriage fell apart. A marriage of 32 years. No. And just 4 months ago, I split and came back to Ontario. So now I'm living up in Muskoka, up in cottage country. Rebooting my life, as it were.
Nice. Well, at least you've ended up somewhere nice.
Cottage country, like Perry Sound area.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have some weird Quebec history too. I lived there when I was in high school, and I would still be in high school if I was there. Because even though I went to an English school in Quebec, Bill 101 says that you have to have such a level of French, which is like you have to be able to read, write, debate. And I remember saying to the counselor guy, like, there's no exception for the kid from BC, and they're like, no, it's a hard and fast. We had to move. We we ended up moving so I could graduate on time.
Here in Alberta, the same thing happened. My elementary school got turned into a French immersion school. I refused to speak the language, therefore, I had to switch schools, which for my parents at the time was a huge hassle, all because of, here in Alberta, like, I couldn't learn French. I was 8 years old. I couldn't learn it, so I had to switch schools.
This is what pisses me off, is it's essentially racist, is what it is.
It is, but right? By being, being bilingual has so many benefits, but also that, that situation was totally ignorant.
It is, and what kills me is that the rest of Canada has to bend over backwards and provide services in French. Sure. Everything has to have a French label on it. Everything, we have to bend over backwards for them. But you go there, and it's like too fucking bad for you. You speak French or fuck off, right?
Yeah.
And so that was a big part of why I got the fuck out of there.
Yeah. The taxes are really high too. It's weird.
What's that?
The taxes are super. The taxes are super high there.
Oh yeah, on everything. There's taxes on top of taxes in Quebec.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
And
cool.
there's a huge, the gas there is 10 cents more than Ontario. And it's supposedly to maintain the roads. But meanwhile, the roads in Quebec are the worst goddamn roads I've ever been on in my life. 2 and 3 alignments a year.
They are terrible. They are terrible.
It's just insane.
Yeah, I had a girlfriend that lived like half an hour away, and man, it was so bad. It was laughable how bad it is.
It's almost a third world province,
And what I find weird is they have lots of weird little idiosyncrasies with the States, like the whole Dépanneur thing where you can buy beer in a corner store.
Yeah.
Why? There's lots of cool shit there that should be everywhere else.
It's a very European thing, right?
Yeah, it should be like that everywhere else.
The catacombs. That bar, the metal bar.
Oh,
the catacombs?
you mean for Fun Electric? Those fucking bars in Montreal.
Both those bars are basically Piledriver's home in Montreal. Those are pretty much the two places we play.
And it's insane.
So that's kind of my okay. So that was why I was asking about Quebec, is because. So do you guys only play in Montreal, or do you ever go up to Quebec City? You ever done a Rimouski show?
We do Montreal and Quebec City pretty much.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And usually together in the weekend, right?
Right.
Montreal on Friday and then Quebec City on the Saturday.
Cool. Are you well received there?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. Much better than anywhere else that we played, and I don't know yet about Calgary, so we'll have to see. But definitely better than Toronto, no question. I have to say, so far in my experience, that Quebec City is heavy metal central.
Very cool.
They're rabid for it there.
Their government sucks balls, but the crowd is awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they support there. They show up in droves for the shows.
Very cool.
Many times I've played in Toronto, and I'm playing to 12 people.
Oof.
Yeah,
you too? I thought that was just my band.
We did a gig with Ripper Owens, Charred Walls of
Charred Walls of the Damned.
Yeah. And there was like 45 people there.
What?
Yeah, it was just insane. Tim was just so bummed out, and I'm backstage telling him, dude, that's Toronto.
That sucks.
They're jaded, because every act in the world comes through, and so I don't need to see them now. I'll see them next time, of thing.
There's so many bands that do North American tours, but yet the only Canadian dates they touch is either Montreal, Toronto, or Vancouver, and they can classify that as North America because they're touching Canada. So
right, yeah,
and
to those record label weasels, I mean, that's like the best demographic and the best
it really is
population density.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing about Toronto is they're so jaded, they don't support. You know what I mean? And also, there's so much competition on any given Saturday night. Right. You're doing a gig, and meanwhile, Rob Zombie's over here, and you've got, another big act over there, and, it's all names every weekend. And so the audience is completely divided.
Huh. Wow.
So that's another factor in it too.
That's like the internet. It's like everybody has too much information now, you know, so they just don't they don't know anything.
So much free access to everything. Why bother, right? It's
crazy.
It's sad.
That's funny. That I don't know why, but it reminded me of a line. We Canadians know more about Americans than they know about anything.
Yeah.
You know, because they come up here and they're expecting igloos and mucklucks and just have no clue. And down there, you can't even get the point of Canada on a map. They think we're in Europe and they think we're the size of France. You know?
I love watching interviews about that.
Oh, I love it when you see a Quebecer and a Parisian go at it. That look,
Battle of the Frenches.
Hopefully, you can YouTube that because they get very mad at each other.
Yeah, because they take the Quebecois and their bastardized language as like inbred hillbilly language.
Well, that's what they say. They're like, you talk so old, because they have this like weird little British thing, the Parisians, to them.
Right.
So they're like, you talk like 300 years ago.
Cockiness and
Parisian
arrogance.
French is very formal. Yeah. You know, it's very strict grammar and all of that and syntax.
I think the grammar.
Meanwhile, Quebecois, it's all slang. You know.
Yeah.
So a lot of times Parisians don't understand what the fuck the Quebecers say. You know.
Hot dog? What?
Well, and over in Europe, we talked to some French people and. Je ne comprends pas qu'est-ce que vous dites. And I'm like, ouais, qu'est-ce que tu dis là? You know, it's just too funny. I guess it's like, you know, like somebody from New York talking to somebody from Texas.
Sure. It was. I went over there for Christmas, and my wife is fully bilingual, but Quebecer, obviously, and so it's like dinner time. It's like, what's your side? And then she's like, salade de fruits. And she's like, oh, excusez, pardon. And then my dad, he had been there for like a year. So he's like, salade de fruits. And he's like, oh, okay. It's like,
I guess in English in Canada, I guess the equivalent would be anybody talking to a newfie.
Yes. Absolutely.
What? when we played in Newfoundland, we were pulling the bus. Well, my phone's dying. We're pulling the bus onto the ferry, and the guy's trying to guide us. Are you there?
Yeah, we're here.
Oh, okay. The guy's trying to guide us. Okay, you pull on the left here. What? You pull them on the left here. What do you want us to do? Pull the bus on over to the left there. Oh, okay, we'll pull the bus on over to the left there. We were trying to find a photocopy machine to put posters up on poles, right? Oh, you're just going to go up the hill here, you're finding them up. What? You go on up the hill there on the left, you'll find the mall there. There should be something in here for you.
I have a theory that Newfies aren't dumb; they're just really fast. So they've ran all their.
And it's all the slang, right?
Yeah,
it's like shorthand. One word. They mix every word together into one.
One of my favorite Newfieisms is Bark Actor. It's basically giver, right? And I was like, so Bardic Actor. You know, we're backing up the bus, and the guy's going, Bardic Actor. And we're like, what the hell is he saying? So we got him to slow it down. Pour the cock to her.
What?
So that's one of my favorite things is Bardic Actor.
Wow, that is. Fuck, I've never been that far east.
That's why they call Newfoundland the Rock.
Oh, you gotta do the Rock, man. It's so beautiful, and the people are so open and warm and fun.
Yeah, cool.
I had the greatest time. That we did one summer. We went from one end to the other, and it was one of the greatest summers I ever had.
Awesome. So you guys are coming out for the whole weekend, right? Most of you?
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah.
Sweet.
Party time.
Oh, yes.
Cool. So you'll be here on Thursday, and then we'll just rage right through Saturday.
Yeah. The only one that's not hanging is our drummer. He's got to get back. He's got a commitment, so he's going to miss out on the big night on Saturday.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
But the rest of us will be there.
Is this all like original members, or like who's?
No,
can I ask you who your
like
crew is?
300 people through this band.
Oh, well, okay.
But this lineup has been solid for 7 years now.
Good.
Oh, whoa.
And
Cool.
we've never so much as had a disagreement over, M&Ms.
That's promising.
And I'm very happy about that.
That's killer.
And I have to say that finally I have a lineup that plays Piledriver the way I hear it in my head.
Cool.
Piledriver's not to be a refined Megadeth precision thing. It's got to be wild, loose, and a little bit hairy. And you got to wonder, oh fuck, are they going to hold it together, or is it off the rails? You know what I mean?
Awesome.
I like
Beautiful.
That. I like that loose energy. That just keeps it spontaneous and fun.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well,
A lot of people like to come out and hear the album live, and I've never understood that. I'd rather go see something and then, wow, it sounds so much more exciting.
Just hanging off the edge of your seat.
Than the record, you know what I mean?
mm-hmm. For sure, man.
And being a portly fella, I don't move quite like I did when I was 23. so I with the heart condition and everything, I tend to just concentrate as much as I can on singing well. You know what I mean?
Cool.
So you'll find me pretty much planted in a spot with my foot up on a monitor and leading court from there. As much as I would love to run around, but then you'd only get half a show.
And I will be right at your feet, banging my head in that frenzy.
Well, I'll try and puke on you then.
You know what? I'll be wearing my denim and leather, so I will be well protected.
Yeah, if it's not on if it's not on the stage, I don't care. If it's not on the stage, I don't care.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Try to hit the bucket if it's on stage. If not, whatever.
Well, if you want, I can fill the bucket and dump it.
Ooh.
A la Guar,
I'm sure Dan would try to
out
catch
across the
some.
audience.
That would be pretty intense.
Yeah, a little too much, maybe.
Well, hey, or do you have another question there? Oh, sorry. Yeah, thanks a lot for taking the time here, man.
Hey, no problem, man. I'm excited as fuck about getting out there and playing for you guys.
Yeah, we're really excited to
Yeah,
have
we're
you,
stoked.
and
Oh man, am I ever?
yeah, I think a lot of other people are too. So, yeah,
So we're working on a special little set list for you, and we had a couple of surprises in there for you.
cool,
Oh,
very interesting. I think
I'll tease you as I letting you know that there will be a song towards the end, maybe for the encore, that was from the Shock album. That it was the very first set of lyrics that I wrote for Piledriver.
Oh, interesting.
And so we'll trot that one out for you.
amazing.
We've got Allegiance to None in the set, and
Don't spoil too much. Don't spoil too much. I'm one of the. I'd rather not know. I'd rather be super surprised. I know there's people out there like, Harley, shut up. Just let him go on. But I don't want to know.
Well, I wasn't going to give you the title anyways.
Okay, awesome. But I'm super stoked.
Yeah, everybody's pumped. It's going to be a great weekend, and just stay on the line after this. But
Sure.
thanks a lot for getting hard in Nate's backyard. It's much appreciated. Via your backyard.
Yeah, I'm actually outside on the porch with the crickets and the owls.
Nice.
I'm nursing my CC and Ginger, and I got a nice little stogie going.
Perfect.
Up in
Awesome.
Phoenix.
Well, thanks again for being on the
Some fine
podcast.
BC bud.
Nice. Thanks a lot. Well, what? Hold on.
No. Now I know.
Now you know.
That's
Okay.
good.
I thought you were going to lay that question on him too. We'll just ask him in person.
No.
No, that.
What? No, my interest is piqued.
No.
Okay, well, I'll ask it for him. So, what do you think about the whole medical marijuana situation? Do you
I
think
think it should be available to everybody.
Thank you.
for recreational purposes?
Yes.
Therapeutic.
Yes.
Absolutely. All
Okay.
right, cool.
But
Yes.
that's,
And I don't think it should be sold to us through beer stores or weed stores, as it were. I think that everybody should be allowed to grow their own.
Yeah, sure. Well, actually, I heard, and I'm no weed lawyer, but if you have your license out in Alberta right now, you can, as of like 2 weeks ago, grow your own legally.
No, as of today.
I know a dude up in North Bay who's got his license, and he's allowed to grow up to 4 pounds of it.
Wow.
And he's allowed to have on him 2 ounces.
Shit.
Because of his medical condition, right? But he's allowed that much.
And he can fly with it and all that shit too, which is hilarious.
You can travel with it.
Wouldn't that be funny? It's like, sorry, Georgia Nazi at the border here.
Maybe all I want to know is like party favors. What's your party favors?
It's my thought that it'll never really happen here because we're so kowtowed to the Americans, and the Americans are so against it. It's starting to break through now, but try and get a seed across the border, let alone any quantity. You know what I mean? You're going to jail.
Yep.
Sure.
Dana Larson and
Mark Emery.
That's why he got busted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, look at even Tommy Chong, man, for bongs.
Glass.
It wasn't even the actual product, as it were. It was bongs that he went to jail for.
Well, and wasn't it too? Well, I guess he like sold the company to his son. His son
like
for $1.
His son kind of went under his radar.
He pulled the Willie Nelson, and then his dad took. On it.
His dad's going to be his dad. His dad's going to be his shield. His dad's going to take the fall.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Actually, I wouldn't mind if somebody would set some aside for her.
I think that might be able to happen.
Gord, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
You didn't say that, but I'll take
allegedly.
I hear you.
Allegedly. Well, fucking A. Thanks a lot, man, again, for taking the time out and getting hard in Nate's backyard.
Completely my illicit pleasure.
Awesome.
See you soon.
We'll see you soon.
Rock on.